Now let me introduce Olathe Councilmember Marge Vogt. She is a member and past chair of the MARC board, and I want you to know she was elected just this past week as the president of the National Association of Regional Councils. Welcome.
I hope you can see me. I've got to get on my box all the time so that I can get above the podium. Well, good afternoon, all of you, and David, thank you. It's always amazing to hear all the activities that MARC is involved in to making this a better community. And I want you to know that regionally, MARC is very well known for all that they do. And they really do set the standard for excellence. So I thank our board members, David, and staff from MARC. Help me welcome them. When I joined the board back in 2006, one of the first people to welcome me was Ron Schaefer. At that time, Ron was in his second term as mayor of Prairie Village. Many of you may not be aware, but he served 10 years on Prairie Village City Council, 16 years as mayor, and 4 years on the Johnson County Board of Commissioners. That is 30 years of public service. Can you imagine how many agenda packets that he had to read through? Scary, painful. Ron joined the MARC board in 2001. He served as board secretary in 2003, 2004, chair in 2005 and 2006. And anyone that knows Ron, you know that he always brought enthusiasm and an upbeat personality to every MARC board meeting. During the years Ron served on the MARC board, we saw lots of changes, and his leadership helped guide many of the critical decisions made. And many of the programs that David talked with you about today, Ron has been involved in those initiatives. He was here when the board formed the Regional Homeland Security Coordinating Committee, when we took on the Head Start program, and when the first Suburbs Coalition came together. He helped lead the way as MARC took on new roles in the workforce development, cooperative purchasing, energy efficiency, and creating sustainable places. He saw us through the first Clean Air Action Plan, the Smart Moves Transit Plan, and the formation of KC Rising. And he helped lead the first major review of our Articles of Incorporation since MARC was formed in 1972, which enabled us to add Miami County to MARC and add direct representation to MARC from Lee Summit and Olathe, of which I'm very grateful for. Ron has represented MARC and the Kansas City region on the board of National Association of Regional Councils, and he did precede me as president in 2016 and 17. He's a known leader in his community and many civic organizations, Kiwanis, the Boy Scouts of America, and the American Institute of Architects. His whole public service has been dedicated to making his community better and making a difference, and that he has. Ron always shows up. He makes sure he has time for persons and events. He always steps up when there's a need. He's been a mentor to many and a friend to many more. I'm proud to call Ron my friend, and proud to have served with him on the MARC board and also on the national board. And on behalf of the MARC board, it's truly my privilege to present you with the Distinguished Board Service Recognition Award in recognition for all the things that you've accomplished, Ron. Thank you so much.
Whoa, look at that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mark. Good afternoon, friends. How are you today? And thank you, Mark, for that long-winded introduction. It was embarrassing and somewhat humbling. Okay, so it's been a long time, 18 years, so it's been fun. I am truly honored to be here, and thank you for that introduction again, Marge. But there's several thanks due to a number of individuals that are out here, and you know who you are, but I want to acknowledge some of you as best I can, okay? I want to say, first off, thanks to the Johnson and Wyandotte Counties Mayors Association for appointing me to this position and giving me that honor to represent the mayors 17, 18 years ago. Number two, I want to thank the Johnson County Commissioner Ed Eilert, Chair, for appointing me to fill this position representing Johnson County. I want to thanks to all the, again, to all the past and present board members, you know who you are, who I've become friends with and worked with over all these great years. Thanks to David Warm, as Marge mentioned, and the staff for all the good that you do for our citizens and our communities and our cities and our region. So give yourselves a hand, David. You're all, Dave, you're a friend. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And most importantly, I want to thank my better half, who is sitting right here at the table with me. My dear partner of 48 years, my wife, Janine. Janine, stand up so we can say hello to you. Okay, thank you. And also to our children, who graciously allowed me all the numerous hours that it took to fulfill some of the obligations that we volunteer, that we oblige ourselves to when we volunteer to take on these positions. It's easy to be a board member of an organization such as MARC that has the vision to place the best interests of the citizens and our communities, our cities, and our counties of this region. The region it serves at heart, and this heart is always in its first place as it serves the citizens of our community. So MARC does it right, and we're so glad to be a part of it and glad you're in our organization. It's indeed an honor again, and to have played a very small part in all the successes and good that MARC has accomplished this last 17 years. But I know it will continue under the leadership of Dave and his great staff, and it reminds me of the most and we are one of the most influential MPOs, Metropolitan Planning Organizations, in the United States, and Marge can confirm that by, again, being the president of that NARC organization. It's been a pleasure to serve MARC. It's been a pleasure to serve the citizens of my city and the county and the region for this last 30 years, and being on the MARC board will be a highlight I will always remember. Thank you for your time and consideration. Take care.
Good afternoon. I'm Carson Ross, Mayor of the City of Blue Springs, Missouri, and Secretary of the MARC Board of Directors. Now it's time for what you all have been waiting for, our 2019 Regional Leadership Awards. Each year, MARC recognizes individuals and organizations from across the region who demonstrate exceptional leadership in serving our greater Kansas City community. Earlier this year, we asked for nominations from the community, and you responded with some really great nominations. The MARC board officers always have their work cut out for them in selecting just a few from the large number of people and groups that are doing amazing work in our region. These Regional Leadership Awards recognize individuals and organizations who demonstrate leadership and excellence in advocating regional concept, approaches, and programs, advancing the vision of the region as a community of excellence, addressing regional challenges, applying innovative solutions to regional problems, and achieving an improved quality of life and equitable opportunity for the region's citizens. The award itself is a symbol of unity, handmade from many kinds of woods, brought together in a single cube. Much as MARC bring together in the many communities our metropolitan area to work together for a brighter future. The people are being recognized today demonstrate the spirit of this award. They have made extraordinary contributions to the region, and we're pleased to honor them here today. Now, let's begin our award presentation. Please turn your attention to the screens.
She turns an obstacle into an opportunity, but she does have a passion, and you feel it the minute she starts talking.
She's always thinking positively. I've never seen Desiree with a frown on her face.
Really being a fast forward thinker, a trailblazer, like this, the impossible can be possible.
You know, Desiree is someone who cares. She cares about people, she cares about our city, she cares about the environment, and she has found a way to marry all of those things together in a way that changes lives.
So we launched Avenue of Life in 2013, and it was to focus on collective impact. We wanted to pilot and see whether a cross-sector collaborative approach that was solution-based would be the answer.
One of the things that they utilize is something called the collective impact model, which brings together like-minded agencies to work on complex issues such as poverty. And Avenue of Life serves as the background or the backdrop agency that brings them all together.
It's good addition where 1 + 1 = 3 or 4 or 5, and that's what she's able to employ amazingly. And you see the results both from an individual level, but also at a community level. If it was all about just getting a job, well, that'd be one thing. But when you're talking about a job and a career and a livelihood and an environment and a citywide impact, not everyone can make that math work, but she does.
So when the mayor of Kansas City, Kansas, did a call to action and told us about 1,400 kids that were homeless, we were ready. So we said yes. We said we'll take that. And we launched in August of 15 in a collective impact approach to addressing student homelessness.
But at the same time, how we will do that is by providing stable housing. And a school district, while really wanting to provide these resources for our families, our focus is making sure that students are on the trajectory to graduate. That's really what we're responsible for. But how do we do that while meeting all of these needs that our families have? So Desiree's been instrumental in helping to really have this collective approach and impact around how we'll all work together in the city. So to date, as a result of that, we have seen a 50% reduction in our youth homelessness.
And just when you think that she's done everything that she can, she comes up with something else that you didn't expect, and the math continues.
In 2013 is when MARC knew of other cities that had started programs for recycling mattresses. And Desiree was approached through another party to have her head this program in 2013.
The approach that we took there was very exciting for us because it allows for individuals coming out of incarceration to have a second chance, a new beginning. And they build their career, they build their resume, they work on different, from credit to housing to case management to mental health assistance as they move back into society. And they are also giving back to society as they're growing in their jobs. And they deconstruct 70,000 mattresses out of the landfill in the Missouri side. So it's very exciting to see what they've done. They've extended the life of some of the landfills.
It's an entrepreneurial way of thinking that is not necessarily the norm.
They're changing lives here in Wyandotte County. They're giving people a hands up.
And ultimately, I feel like that's what we share in common with Avenue of Life with Desiree, that this is really for families. We want them to be successful, thriving young adults. And so that's what makes the difference in this partnership, is that we're changing, we're helping to transform lives.
I think that Avenue of Life will be working more and more in replication because we could end student homelessness in every school district. We have all the talent in our communities, and the assets are already in each community if they are leveraged in a strategic way. So going community by community and teaching them how to stack hands and work together collaboratively at this level would be the most rewarding thing that I think Avenue of Life could do in the future.
What a powerful video. Good afternoon. I am Harold Johnson. I am a commissioner in
with the Unified Government of Wyandotte County in Kansas City, Kansas. And I also serve as the second vice chair of the Mid-America Regional Council Board of Directors. I've known Desiree for quite some time, and I've always been inspired by her energy and her dedication to her community. But even though I knew about her, and I knew about her energy, and I knew about her organization, until we started putting this powerful video together, I had no idea just how much of an impact that she had on our community and even the region at large. What really impresses me about Desiree is her holistic approach. She doesn't just solve one problem at a time. With every program, she finds a way to layer on multiple assets to help those that are in need. She sees she really makes a difference in people's lives by addressing their urgent needs, but she also helps to lift them up towards a certain level or a higher level of self-sufficiency. So today, Desiree, we are grateful to you in all that you do for our region. And on behalf of the Mid-America Regional Council, it's my pleasure to present this 2018 Regional Leadership Award to you.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. I'd like to thank the Mid-America Regional Council, their board, and their staff for all their hard work on this event and just leading the way through our community. You're truly making an impact, and you made an impact in my life, so thank you. It's an honor to be here today. I'm very humbled. That was really a remarkable gift to give to all of us that lead, right? To have people in your community talk about the work that you're doing. It's just really humbling. So thank you for this honor today. I have the privilege of working with a talented board of directors and staff at Avenue of Life who are passionate about making an impact in their community. And we do this through community partners. We work side by side with our community partners. It's how all the outcomes are happening. And I thank you for collaborating in such a way that you're aligning your efforts towards a strategic solution. It's just really amazing to watch. And this can't be done without our funders and our volunteers. Our volunteers that many of you here in the room have worked countless hours through the community to impact the men, women, and kids in our region. And thank you for your time, talent, and treasures, for giving generously, and for leaving this lasting impression in the lives of those we serve. It's truly an honor to be here today. Thank you for this award.
I'll take you back in time a little bit. President Lyndon Johnson signed a powerful, powerful community action law. And really, he declared war on poverty. And at that time in America, we needed the communities to come together to help find resources, to help find and fix the needs of the American citizens. West Central started just 1 year later.
West Central Missouri Community Action Agency is one of 19 community action agencies in the state of Missouri and one of over 1,000 in the United States. So community action is really about addressing those root causes as well as the consequences of issues related to poverty.
Not only do they actually help people in their immediate need, but they also help people beyond that.
And really looking out for the interest to make all residents in Cass County do well. And whether it's the business community, they're always looking to see how they can help businesses. Their expansion and work on the workforce development piece in Cass County has been huge.
When I talk to folks as staff or anybody in communities, talk all the time, we're not going to affect change unless we have more dollars in more pockets more of the time. You can translate and interpret and look at that in a variety of ways, but the key is we've got to find ways to provide economic security to families and communities. We need to skill folks up.
For us, working with West Central has really been about workforce development. When I started in the business and working on this, there were incentives. We talked about utilities, a lot of other things, but having a qualified workforce just didn't bubble to the top. Now it is the issue.
And so we are so blessed and privileged to be able to work with the Full Employment Council as the Workforce Development Board in this area, in the Kansas City region, to provide a job center here in Cass County.
So I think when you sit down with an individual and you say, not only do you need a job, but what do you need to keep that job? Your housing, your transportation, they happen to have all those things under one roof. And I think that's where I see the big change, is that West Central is very systematic in its approach to how it helps people and businesses in the Cass County area.
We have several units that provide direct services throughout our region. We are the housing authority for our 9-county region, plus the city of Grandview. We have multifamily housing programs, so we operate senior living facilities. 2 of those are in Jackson County, in addition to having a variety of facilities in our other counties, our 9-county primary footprint. We have a transition services, which is our homeless service work that we do in the area, and we also have outreach offices where we can further guide and do some planning with families around those goals that they would like to achieve. We also do food system work. We have a lot of food insecurity, and I challenge people all the time. Missouri now, we've moved up or down. We're the 17th most food insecure state in the United States, and shame on us. We grow food better than anywhere in the world, so we can do better by our people.
They're tireless. They work very hard in order to try and make a difference in the community, and they've got a lot of passion that they bring to the table, and those are the kind of people that we like to work with.
For myself, as a leader in my community and now in the county, that I'm not sure where we'd be at without West Central. Are glad that they are here and working to do what they do.
So I've been very grateful for all the work that they do, and they do it with such a servant's heart and such a caring manner and dignity to all folks, and really, really pleased to have them in our community.
And all through the history of West Central, and that's a long time. We've been engaged with them for 32 years. Now, during the 32 years, things have gone up and gone down, but we've still been able to maintain the fabric of what I call a good system of support and engagement for the community.
West Central's passion is to change their lives.
Whatever program that may be, whatever service we may provide, at the end of the day, if people can say, I have hope, I have a dream, and I know I can achieve it, and I'm working on it now, and I'll get there tomorrow, then we've done our job.
Well, thank you for that. As a Cass County Commissioner, and before that, Mayor of Belton, I know firsthand what a wonderful organization West Central Missouri Action Agency is. And I'm pleased to have Chris Thompson, West Central's President and CEO, join me to accept this award. Chris, I just want to say thank you to you and your team, and thank you for being here today from West Central. We appreciate all you do to help the people who need help the most. Your help is inspiring, and you are truly making a difference in people's lives. On behalf of the MARC Board, I am honored to present you with this 2019 Regional Leadership Award.
Thank you, Commissioner Odom. A wise man once said, to lead a good and honorable life, we must do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly. Good and honorable people every day act justly and make sure that we're advancing the cause of justice in each of our communities. Good and honorable people overwhelm the perpetrators of injustice with love and compassion, and provide support and comfort and assistance to those who are victims of it. Good and honorable people are humble enough to realize we can't do it alone. We must be in it together. I get the privilege every day of working with good and honorable people who serve good and honorable people in every one of our communities, and I am thankful for that. I get the honor and privilege to work with good and honorable partners the Mid-America Regional Council, Full Employment Council, Cass County Corporation for Economic Development, and I could go on and on and on. I don't get enough minutes to talk about all the various partners that are good and honorable people that advance justice and serve people throughout the region. I'm thankful for that. Words cannot adequately express our feelings of appreciation at West Central for the honor of being here today in front of you and to have the opportunity to speak to you about what we do. Thank you. Thank you very much. There's much work to do. Let's keep doing it, and let's do it together. Thank you.
David Slater always makes me smile. There is something so contagious about his energy, it gets passed on.
He sees beyond the boundaries of Pleasant Valley. He rolls into the Northland, then it goes into the region and to Kansas City and then throughout the state.
You know, that's quite a feat from somebody who is the mayor of a little town, but his impact is really widespread.
Mayor Slater's a bulldog with a lot of passion, and he cares for people, and he creates the relationships needed in order to get things done.
I think David Slater is one of the hardest working, most dedicated mayors you'd ever find.
Pleasant Valley Mayor is a 2-year term, and I did two-year terms from 1987 to 1991. I was 28 when I first got elected, and it was fun. I loved doing it, and they were after me to do other things. I just said, nope, I'm gonna raise my kids. So I took 18 years off, raised my kids. Quite content just being normal and sitting at home. And the mayor at the time knocked on my door and said, my wife won't let me do this anymore. And he says, you wanna come back? I go, yeah, it'd be fun.
Right now, he's not only known in this region, but he's known throughout the state.
David did a really great job of leveraging his role as the head of the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus into a much bigger kind of entity with a much greater influence.
He knows the mayors throughout the state, and he is very active in all the organizations that are trying to put transportation and economic development forward.
He grew that mayor's circle into over 500 mayors around the state. It's been so helpful for us to become better equipped to lobby with our local legislators, to work on bigger issues across the state.
Serving on the Toll Transportation Policy Committee here at the Mid-America Regional Council, he's my go-to person when I need comments in that committee about what's going on in the state of Missouri.
David is a real believer in convening. He understands the power of getting the right people in the room and making things happen. We use that strategy to get funding for the Bucko Knoll Bridge, to get the agreement locally around that.
And he was very successful in sharing with the people around that table, what does that bridge mean to this region?
He used that strategy to get cooperation and support for the airport, which wasn't always an easy task.
I first met Dave Slater during some strategic planning that the North Kansas City Schools was doing many years ago. And David had some concerns that people in Pleasant Valley were leaving his city due to some of the struggles our school district was having. But Dave stepped up to the plate and joined our strategic planning and helped us develop some real ideas of how to increase student achievement here in North Kansas City. And I've always appreciated Dave being that voice to come to help us improve our school district.
Anytime I call him and I say, I need you to be here, I need you to come with me to Jefferson City, or we need to get together and bring together some mayors to talk about an issue, he's always there. Anytime, day or night, he's just so available to his constituents in his city, but really to the regional leadership as well.
He does spend a lot of time and effort on behalf of this region.
He does it because he's compassionate. He has a real passion for this community and for the state of Missouri. And he, like most of us, wants us to be the very best that we can be.
I'm never going to be the smartest guy in the room, but I'm always going to be the one that that doesn't mind working and doesn't mind digging in. And if I can be a head cheerleader, that's fine, but I'm not important. I just get important people in the room, and that gets things done.
Good afternoon. I'm Carol Suter, and it's my privilege to serve as the mayor of the city of Gladstone, happiest rock in the pond. And it's been my honor to serve as the past chair of the MARC Board of Directors as well. And I'm really pleased to be here today to present this award to Mayor David Slater. His passion, his dedication, and energy are just beyond compare. He has done so much to bring mayors together around important issues, and much more than he's actually willing to take credit for. He's a very humble leader. One of the things that I admire most about David is his almost limitless commitment to public service. He's the mayor of a very small town, so he has very limited, dedicated administrative support for all of the regional and state responsibilities that he takes on. He willingly spends countless hours of his personal time working on issues of importance, not just in his city, but for the entire region. And of course, he also holds down a full-time banking job to boot. You get a lot of messages from David in the middle of the night. He is a rare bird. It is very hard to find people with that kind of commitment anymore. And today, he comes with this huge entourage of supporters, of family, friends, colleagues, and coworkers, and they're testament to that I am just one of many people in his fan club. So David, we appreciate all that you do for your community and for this region. And on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Mid-America Regional Council, it's my honor to present you with the 2019 Regional Leadership Award.
Thank you. Y'all know me no better than that. In 1990, I made a motion to appoint David Warren as the Executive Director of the Mid-America Regional Council. Nearly 30 years later, I finally get this dang award. About dang time, man. Thank you, Chairman Roberts and the MARC Board of Directors for this great honor. Thank you, Mayors Weir, Suter, and Ross, Dr. Clemens, and President Tracy for your kind words. Thank you to my coworkers at Bank 21 for allowing me the flex time to continue to work. Thank you to Ford Motor Company, My Economy, the Northland Chamber, the City of Pleasant Valley, and Bank 21 for buying tables and filling them with people nice enough to spend a couple hours with me during this great honor. None of this happens without the excellent department heads and staff of Pleasant Valley and our City Council. Thank you to my fellow mayors who show up and give us a strength in numbers. You have become great friends. Most importantly, thank you to my family who has filled up more than 2 tables today. Yeah, how about that? My 4 siblings and their spouses, including my brother Jim and his wife, Susan, who drove up from Dallas. Trust me, if any of those 4 were put in my position, they would be up here too, and I would be cheering them on. That's because of the other 2 people at that table. Our parents. They gave us a faith foundation, taught us about hard work, challenged us, let us make mistakes, made us do our best in school, and loved us when we failed. That formula made us all best friends. They are role models for not just us, but the other table, filled with my 3 kids and a few cousins. And of course, to my friend Susan, who tolerates my crazy schedule. I love y'all. Okay? And there's another table too, and it says Slater, for instance, the empty one. I've already had a couple of people take pictures of me over there, just sitting by myself. A $450 mistake, and all I can say is, kids, Merry Christmas. grab the desserts. We don't run for election for recognition or awards, but I'm going to gladly accept this honor on behalf of all my fellow elected, especially those from small cities like mine who do the work but will probably never get this opportunity. All that being said, I'm taking this as a participation trophy until we get two things done. First, we need to fund our roads. Yes, sirs. You know what? It's not a MoDOT or a KDOT problem. It's our problem. In this region alone, fatality accidents went from 200 in 2013 to 286 in 2017, the latest year for data. The 5-year average of serious accidents is 1,257 people in this region per year. Before you leave, I want to have you all stop by my city table and meet Sarah Everhart. She's my court clerk. In October of last year, Sarah was involved in an accident, and by her hard work and the grace of God, she will walk again and play with her 2 children. Sarah, finish this funding task. It's become personal. Second, Holly, you're going to love this, Mayor Stark. Those of us on the Missouri side of an Attorney General who thinks it is more important not to tamper with his signature legislation than to have those who have committed domestic abuse show up in court. For 5 years, our statewide group of mayors have tried to fix this bill. Interesting enough, last week I had breakfast with 2 representatives from eastern Jackson County, and they thought they'd had it fixed. But for the second year in a row, a sleight of hand has kept the law intact. We want to help our police, but because we electeds continue to come up short, we're going to need everybody in this room's help to get this done. Finally, nearly every goal set for Casey Rising has not been met. Most have seen regression. We are our own worst enemies. I'm not just talking about 2 states, 9 counties, and numerous cities. I'm talking about all that in the over 2 million people that live in this area. A great American, Dr. King, gave his life over 50 years ago so that we could be equal. Step back and look at the big picture and see the diversification of those elected in our region. Are there problems? Yes, of course, but most of us get it. Let us celebrate our differences, but not let them come between us or give us cause to make exceptions. Incentives have become a game, and unless you're a recipient, we are losing. My friends Bill Hall and Angela Smart have tried to knock down the state line border of this region for years. A little known fact, but some of us in this room met in November in 2014, we came really, really close in agreement. If we knock down those barriers, not just between states, but between counties, between cities, just think what we could do with the money that's going towards incentives if we put towards infrastructure and education. Imagine every school district in this region getting with Dr. Clemens and finding out how his schools went from a 76.9 annual performance report in 2012 to a 97.4 in 2018 by getting business and elected people together with school leaders. Does all this seem impossible? Not nearly as impossible as a mayor from a small city winning this leadership award. Let us get to work. Again, many thanks, and let's keep the pressure on our elected officials. Thank you very much.
Maria has a big brain and a big heart. She's one of those rare individuals that possesses a remarkable intellect and remarkable empathy. You just don't come across people like that every day.
Community-minded, and that she's a good steward, and she's innovative, and she truly passionately cares about the people of Kansas City.
A collaborative spirit. She's the most trustworthy person that I can think of in our ecosystem.
Those within that space look to Maria as a true leader. She is a servant leader. And I've always known this about Maria, that she has the utmost respect of so many across our community. She's wicked smart.
She is a very entrepreneurial administrator. She is the entrepreneur's entrepreneur.
I came to UMKC many years ago to start a program called KC SourceLink. And that program was started on a very simple premise. Lots of resources for entrepreneurs, and they couldn't find them. So we did something interesting. Instead of networking together the entrepreneurs, we networked together the entrepreneurial support organizations, and that's what became KC SourceLink, which today is a network of about 240 organizations and programs that support entrepreneurs.
Maria is an astrophysicist by training. She wants to jump into a problem and figure out how to solve it. And with KC SourceLink, they got a solution that not only has been working for Kansas City, but it's working for more than 50 communities around this country, and now it's finding its way into other countries. I think that's a sign of somebody who's doing remarkable work that is sorely needed.
In a university setting, many times it's really hard to create innovative programming, and she's been able to do that with Digital Sandbox, Whiteboard to Boardroom. These are just a couple of examples.
When Maria says that UMKC Innovation Center is moving at the speed of business, what she's doing is trying to encourage us all to remember that there are real problems that need to be solved, and that we are the public urban research university that is to do that in Kansas City. Every day that we take to move something along, there's some life that isn't as great as it could be.
One of the big efforts that's happening in our community over the last several years is KC Rising, and looking at that as our regional plan for prosperity. Critical to that is the entrepreneur and innovation component, and identifying those individuals in our community who are going to be our next business leaders.
Much of the employment growth that occurs in a city like Kansas City is created by small businesses and entrepreneurs. She is very acutely aware of that journey in terms of improving the economic well-being of our region, and how that starts with the rich entrepreneurial legacy that Kansas City has always had. What KC Rising is attempting to do is to continue that alignment across all segments and sectors of our community.
Maria has a unique background for regional leadership. She's worked in the private sector, she's worked in the nonprofit sector, and most recently now as an employee in a state university in the public sector. And I think it's that tri-sector experience that uniquely qualifies her to be the connector that she is in the community.
She can bring together people and process and brilliant new ideas and make it all work.
I think people are starting to see Kansas City as a very special place. What I think is remarkable about that is that if one of the many exports of Kansas City to the rest of the world, thanks to Maria and many like her, is entrepreneurship, well, how cool is that?
So I can't wait in 10 years to see the next round of amazing companies that will be developed here in Kansas City, and they'll be able to point back and say, Maria Meyers helped me.
And what's been really fun is to watch people at grassroots level all the way up through high-level corporate individuals get together and say, yep, we're going to change the face of Kansas City, and we're going to do it with entrepreneurship. And to be a very small part of that change in Kansas City is pretty cool.
Good afternoon. I'm Eileen Weir. I'm the mayor of the City of Independence and the treasurer for the MARC board. As mayor and as a member of the KC Rising Steering Committee, I know how very important entrepreneurs are to our economy. If you've ever started a business or worked for a startup company, you know how hard that can be. And I'm sure you can appreciate what a great resource it is for our local entrepreneurs to have someone like Maria Meyers who can connect them to resources every step of the way. With Maria's leadership, we really are becoming America's most entrepreneurial region. She is an innovative thinker who inspires people, and she is helping all of us to reach for new heights in regional prosperity. And she is a wicked smart woman. Maria, on behalf of the MARC Board, I'm pleased to present you with this 2019 Regional Leadership Award. Wow. To listen to that video, thank you to everybody who did that. So, it's funny because I stand up here and I think about the work that we do, and I really stand up here to accept this award on behalf of so many really other people. For the last few years, we've been working hard to show ourselves and the world that we are America's most entrepreneurial city. And to do that kind of work, I'm really honored just to be one of the many leaders in our community that are working on that and to be part of that. So we have corporations and foundations, and we have individuals, investors, entrepreneurs, everybody working together, our city and county governments working together to make Kansas City America's most entrepreneurial city. And we have a wonderful university in UMKC that has made economic development and entrepreneurship a part of its mission and has allowed us to do the work that we're doing here. So, and as I walk through the crowd and talk to people today, and all the people that I know that are here that are working in entrepreneurship and on entrepreneurship or are entrepreneurs, I really kind of accept this award on behalf of you. It feels strange for me to be up here by myself. I'd kind of like to get the whole room up here. And I also accept it on behalf of the UMKC Innovation Center, the team over here that demonstrates to me every day excellence in support for entrepreneurs. Unbelievable team to be able to go into the office and work with just every day. And I accept it on behalf of my family, my husband, who has put up with so many early morning meetings, late night events, and many trips to the airport, and is still married to me. It's pretty amazing, right? And my kids, who have really taught me that it's really not the work that we do in our lives, it's the relationships that we build that is the true meaning of life, and I owe them so much. And over the past few years, we've been working hard at this, and our entrepreneurs in the last 5 years have delivered 80,000 jobs to this community, and that's what we're working on. And they deliver jobs year after year after year, and it's really the heart and the head and the hands of Kansas City that are helping us make it easier to be an entrepreneur. And like everybody before me, we're not done yet. So the next thing we're going to work on is really unleashing the power of corporate America into our entrepreneurs and see what we can do next to create even more jobs for the future. So thank you so much for this award on behalf of all of you in this room. I accept this award, so thank you very much.